The Pokemon TCG has thousands of cards that are standard legal, but only the best of the best rise to the top. How many times have you looked at a new Pokemon card and went, wow, this card's great, but the basic only's got 60 HP? Dude, Dragapult's gonna eat me alive. Or maybe something like, oh dude, this attack needs 4 energy? Doesn't even knock out a Raging Bolt. Will cards like these ever see the light of day? Presenting the Comeback Mechanics Summer 2025 Off-Meta Tournament. For a more thorough explanation of why we chose to ban the cards we did, check out our first video in this series. But let's see who will be the inaugural off-meta champion. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the finals of the inaugural Comeback Mechanics 2025 off-meta tournament. You can take a look at previous videos again to see kind of the whole process here. We have every round posted, and we are going to crown a champion today. Not only are we going to crown the winner of the tournament, but there are also some special prizes that we have at the end of the tournament as well. We're going to pick the 3 most creative decks from the tournament, and those people are going to be getting a prize as well. So stay tuned to the end of the video to see who our big winners are for the tournament. Very excited for this to happen, and let's go ahead and get started. Rebecca is on the left, and she is playing the United Wings deck. United Wings cares about the amount of Pokemon in your discard pile with the United Wings attack, and what a great way to start off here is with that brilliant blender. Gonna allow Rebecca to search her deck for 5 cards and put them in the discard pile. Very nice here. Gets to dump some of those Pokemon she doesn't plan on attacking with here. Now, normally, the big thing with the United Wings deck is you have such a toolbox of weaknesses to work with, right? The Watch Roll hits Lightning weakness, you got the Murkrow for Dark weakness, and then the Dartrix for Grass weakness here. And we see she is not planning on using the Dartrix this game. She's going to get rid of 4 Dartrix plus a Watch Roll here. Especially now, there are no double colorless energy type effects in the format right now. And so Rebecca is just going to be trying to attack with that Murkrow for most of the game here. We see big Ultra Ball getting rid of a Carmine and a Research here. And let's see what she's searching for. I would imagine it's probably going to be that big Squawkabilly EX, but we could see her just grab another support Pokemon like that Zeruya, or maybe even a Murkrow just so she can attack next turn. And nope, we are just going to see that Squawkabilly. So Rebecca is going to chug through quite a bit of her deck on this first turn. She had her opening hand to 7. She brilliant blendered 5 into the discard pile. Going to Carmine for 5, and then probably Squawkabilly for 6 more. Like, what an insane first turn here. And notably, she put up the Inn's Castle. She is playing the Inn's Zoroark as a support option, only using it for that trade ability. But the downside is it has 2 retreats, so getting it bossed up into the active can be a little tough. So by playing 1 Inn's Castle, she gives herself kind of an out to getting that Zoroark out of the active spot. Going to see a big Great Ball here, allowing her to look at the top 7 in her deck, put a Pokemon into her hand here, and it's looking like she gets to grab that Murkrow, and so she is going to have an attacker set up for next turn. Now, notably, it's kind of hard to attack with this Flamigo because of its 2 costed attack, but because Rebecca's going first, she could just attach to the Flamigo and say, you know what, I'm going to get there next turn. And it's looking like she is. And oh, Steve, getting ahead of yourself. Rebecca's not even close to done. She's got a whole nother hand to play through. She gets to Squawkabilly for a clean 6. Like, absolutely cracked here. Absolutely cracked. And Rebecca's got a pretty good hand here. She's got the Ultra Ball. She could even bench the other Flamigo to use that Insta-Flock ability, but you don't really want 2 Flamigos on your bench, so I understand why she is not. Going over to Steve's side here, and he gets to play that big Arven. Pull some great cards, Arv out of the deck, and oh my goodness, he gets to play the Precious Trolley. He gets to play his A-Spec now to fill up his bench with 5 Pokemon here. No, interesting. Going for the Poffin instead. Very interesting. That tells me Steve has some other Pokemon in his hand. Maybe he has a Poffin in his hand already. Thinking about, yeah, he's got 2 basics in his hand, so makes sense he doesn't want to play the rescue or the trolley here. Gonna save it maybe for a little later in the game, maybe after Rebecca takes a couple knockouts. You know, makes sense here. And he's gonna Poffin, get a Dreepy and a Torchic. And then he's already pulled those 2 Dracloaks to the front of his deck. He is gonna try to probably Evo into him is what it looks like here. And you may be thinking, well, hang on, this is the off-meta tournament. What's Dreepy doing here? So we have banned the Dragapult EX, but we have decided to leave the Dreepy and the Dracloak legal to be draw options here. So Steve is pretty much only going to be using that Recon Directive ability, and that's kind of it. And we're just going to see that big Evo. We're going to see it pass back on to Rebecca, and very nice for her here. She's got plenty of good search cards here. She's got that Ultra Ball, and then she's got Research to just draw herself a fresh hand. Unfortunately, she did not get any Zoruyas down to go up into the Zoroark here, so that's a little unfortunate, but just going to see a big Ultra Ball here. Probably going to grab herself maybe another Murkrow. Could grab the Zoruya here, just try to set that up for a future turn. Got lots of options for her here. She could even be, just that makes sense. Just grab that Zoruya. She wants to go into the Zoroark on her next turn. Start to get her draw engine online here. And yep, big 8 United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. And you can see the rescue board on the Flamigo. Makes sense here. Maybe she wants to retreat, go into the Murkrow, right? Not a bad idea there. And, this is notably, the Wattrel could be a knockout as well if she can get that set up. It does hit weakness into this Froakie, but I think she's got enough Pokemon that she doesn't need to worry about the weakness game here. And then big Great Ball. Let's see if she can find what she's looking for here in the top 7. And she finds some more United Wings Pokemon, quite a bit of them, in fact. She's looking like she wants to grab the Flamigo, but she might grab something like the Wattrel maybe. But nope, just going to grab the Flamigo. Putting it into the hand here, and I imagine it is just going to go straight back into the discard pile. Yep, this Ultra Ball getting rid of the Flamigo and getting rid of the Zoruya here. She says she only wants the one. And going up to 9 in the discard pile, so hitting for a big 180 here. And she's thinking about what she wants to grab here. I imagine she'll probably grab the Zoroark. That is what I would imagine. But she could just maybe grab another Murkrow. She got lots of options for her here. Or she's even thinking about failing it. I think she may have enough resources in the discard pile. She maybe doesn't need to grab anything. And yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying, I don't want to grab anything just yet. Nope, changing her mind here. Instead going, you know what? Change my mind. Got to get that Zoroark here. It makes a lot of sense. She had access to the Night Stretcher to get the Zoroark back as well. So no harm, no foul there. Figuring out what she wants to do. Big retreat into the Murkrow. And then she's just going to attach for turn. And then take a big knockout with the Murkrow here. Choosing to leave that Flamigo on the bench for later. Makes sense. The Flamigo has a little bit more HP here. So maybe wants to save it to maybe soak up a hit a little bit later here. We're going to see these Recon Directives. And lots of options for Steve here. I think he's got the Arven in the hand now. And if he Arvens, he can just go Rare Candy into the Blaziken and take a big knockout here. That's exactly what we're going to see. Big Blaziken. And then we're going to see an Arven. And I wonder what he grabs at this point in time. Could grab something like, grabbing the Counter Catcher. I think he wants to knock out the Squawkabilly EX, which is going to be really great for Steve, helping him pull ahead. And we haven't talked about Steve's strategy here. That is my fault, y'all. So Steve's deck here is built around the Blaziken EX with its Seething Spirit ability, where once per turn you can attach an energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. And then he's trying to combo that with the Greninja EX, has Shinobi Blade, does 170, and allows him to search his deck for a card, or can use that Mirage Barrage to do 120 to 2 Pokemon here. That's going to prove to be pretty good against Rebecca's deck. Rebecca notably is not playing the Shaman here, did not think there was going to be a lot of bench snipe happening in this tournament, and could come back to bite her here in this finals matchup. Steve did end up bossing up the Squawkabilly with that, or pulling it up with the Counter Catcher, and then is going to use the big attack of that Blaziken, the Summer Smolder Salt, Smolder Salt, to take a big knockout. Now, notably, instead, Rebecca's choosing to boss up the Torchic here, and is just going to use the Murkrow, take a knockout. Pretty quick turn for her here. Just going to try to keep the prize race moving here. Doesn't even have enough to two-shot this Blaziken. Only has 10, so would be doing 200 to the Blaziken, but instead just choosing to take out the Torchic here. Does not want the ability for Steve to accelerate more energy next turn. If he could get 2 Blazikens in play, it makes setting up that Froakie going into the Greninja a lot easier here. So instead, we're just going to see Steve nest ball out another Torchic. And then let's see what he does here. Now, Normally, the Smolder Salt would make it where the Blaziken cannot attack next turn, but Rebecca choosing to boss the Torchic means that the Smolder Salt can be used again here on this next turn. We're going to see some recon directives here. We're seeing going to see the water energy here as well as the earthen vessel. Steve is prioritizing getting a bunch of energy into play here. He does have a boss in the hand already, so it's looking like he could be trying to set up maybe a punch onto this Zoroark EX. That could be the plan here. But notably, that Inn's Castle is still in play, so Rebecca would get the free retreat out of the Inn's Castle. We're going to see Earthen Vessel getting rid of a water to pick up Psychic and Fire. Steve is playing one Psychic Energy just in case he wants to use the Dragon Headbutt attack of the Dracloak. And this actually might be the matchup for that Dragon Headbutt to do what it needs to do. These Murkrows only have 60 HP here, so that could very well be the plan. Rebecca will draw for turn, and she has found another Murkrow. She has lots of United Wings Pokemon in hand. She has the Carmine. She could just Carmine to get a fresh hand here, especially after not using that Night Stretcher, getting that Murkrow set up, ready to attack. And then, going to see a trade first, going to get rid of the Flamigo, and Earthen Vessel would allow her to get rid of another card in her hand, maybe that Murkrow, but she may just decide to go for a big United Wings that is going to deal a whopping 240, actually now it's at 240 off of this United Wings. Very nice here. So this Blaziken is now very close to getting knocked out next turn, and also very importantly, it can't attack this turn. So Steve is going to need to retreat the Blaziken if he wants to get an attack off this turn, but he most likely will, simply because he can just retreat and then use the ability, that Seething Spirit, to load up the Dracloak here. Going to see a big Ultra Ball here, getting rid of that Greninja. I think the problem here, I think one of the Froakies is prized for Steve. We saw Rebecca knock out one already, and I think the other one is in the prize cards here. So Steve is not able to get that Greninja EX online just yet, but he is going to go Arven to grab the Night Stretcher to then get that Froakie back on the bench. So Steve is slowly working his way up into that Greninja, and if he can use the Mirage Barrage, this game could be over very fast here. We see the Combuskin has been involved. We see the attach to the Froakie. And so it's actually very possible that Steve wins the game here on the next turn. It's very possible. I wonder if Rebecca just doesn't put another United Wings Pokemon into play, just says, hey, you know what? This Flamigo is going to attack. You can't take two prizes next turn. And then that's going to give me just a little bit of time. But instead, she is going to choose to bench the Murkrow here. Doesn't think Steve is going to be able to get there. He ain't going to go Rare Candy Greninja. It ain't going to happen. And she has the energy. She can attack with either the Murkrow or the Flamigo. You know, she gets to pick here. And she is going to get to take a knockout. And, oh, that's very interesting. The Gravity Mountain. She's going to put that Gravity Mountain into play. Gives those Stage 2 Pokemon minus 30 HP. Unfortunately, not enough to just, get an auto knockout on this Blaziken. That would have been really, really cute. But it does make it where these Pokemon are going to be just a little bit weaker going into future turns. That Greninja will be losing 30 HP as well as the Blaziken, so makes life just a little bit easier. Rebecca now has the ability to one-hit KO those Pokemon. But unfortunately, I think the game is just over. We get to see the double Blaziken to accelerate 2 energy onto the Greninja. We're going to see that Mirage Barrage take out the Flamigo and the Murkrow, and that is going to spell the end of game 1 for Steve here. It's looking like this might be a tough matchup for Rebecca here. That bench damage is going to be very, very potent, and Rebecca currently does not have a way to stop it now. So let's see how this game 2 goes. The good news for Rebecca here is that she can hit some very large numbers here, where if she can just take some big one-hit KOs back to Steve, she will just be fine here. She will be able to do that. So let's see how this game 2 plays out here. Very exciting conclusion here. I love that the finals is a deck that used to be good, that got pushed out of the meta in the United Wings, and then a deck that is just on the fringes of playability with this Blaziken Greninja deck. And we see Rebecca's going to start off taking a mulligan here. I imagine Rebecca is going to go first. She does have the Carmine, so getting a full extra turn cycle to set up is going to be nice for her. But that unfortunately does give Steve the ability to go TM Evolution on his first turn here. So it's going to be interesting to see what the going first decision here is. And that would have been a great hand for Steve opening on that Precious Trolley. But unfortunately, going to take another mulligan here. Rebecca is going to keep. So Rebecca is going to get one mulligan here going into game 2. Going to be nice here, giving her just a little bit of extra reach as well. These first couple of turns are so important for the United Wings deck. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this plays out. Gonna see an opening here. I believe that was the Shaman for Steve. Rebecca's gonna take her one mulligan, and yep, gonna open on the Shaman here. It's an easy knockout for Rebecca, and Rebecca has made Steve go first here, and he attached pass. Rebecca has the path to winning the game here. If she can find a certain combination of cards, she will be able to get there. She's going to need something like, she's got the rescue board in hand too. Very nice. She just needs to find the Murkrow, and she needs to get 4 United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile, and then that's good enough to get her there. She is going to get to Ultra Ball probably for Squawkabilly. Going to grab that Squawkabilly. So Rebecca is going to be trying her best to win the game here, and she gets access to research. She doesn't even have to go Carmine here. I think just big research here makes a lot of sense. She could choose to thin some energies cards out of the deck with the Earthen Vessel, but she wants to find a energy as well, so maybe doing that would not be the most advantageous. She is playing 6 Dark Energy, but you do need to find the 1 here, so she's thinking about it. And then just big Professor's Research here, fresh 7, and she still has access to the Squawkabilly here, so let's see if she can, cobble these combination of cards together. And there's the Flamigo. Flamigo's very nice here, getting to use Instaflock. She's going to get to grab, I think, 3 out of the deck, assuming none are prized, which would be very nice. That is 3 of the 4 Pokemon she needs to get in the discard pile to knock out this Shaman. So there she goes. Can she find 1 more plus an attach for turn? We see the Ultra Ball. That's awesome. Getting rid of 2 more Pokemon. She's probably going to grab the Murkrow here. Makes a lot of sense. Just grab the Murkrow, slap it down, attach for turn because you have the Dark Energy in your hand. And then you just have to find 1 more United Wings Pokemon. And if you do that, you are going to win the game. So let's see if she can get there. There was also an option to Ultra Ball for... Oh no, there's a Dartrix in the hand. I think she has game in hand here because she just goes attach onto the Murkrow, use the Squawkabilly, and then... Oh no, she doesn't have any energy. Never mind. Okay. She needs to find an energy card off of the Squawkabilly. And if she can do that, she will win the game here. Oh yeah, she's got plenty. That's my fault. She's got plenty of Pokemon in her hand to get there. And there's the Squawk. She's going to dump another 3 United Wings Pokemon. So she has enough. If she finds Dark Energy, she wins the game. Let's see if she can find it. Is the Dark in the hand? It is, and Rebecca is going to very easily clean up this game number 2. Just going to absolutely donk Steve, and we're going to be heading into a game 3. That's the strength of this United Wings deck. It sees so many cards. She punished Steve for having a weak start. He opened Shaman Pass, and then Rebecca went, all right, you're dead, buddy. Let's go to game number 3. So let's see if that same thing happens again here. I think Steve is going to be choosing to go second here, which means that he will have access not only to his supporter, maybe playing one of his 4 Arvins to try to get that Poffin or the Precious Trolley, which will help him not get donked, or, he's also got access to that TM Evolution as well. So let's see if things work out a little better for Steve going into game number 3 here. This is it. This is for all of the marbles. Who will win the inaugural Comeback Mechanics off-meta tournament? I'm very excited here. And Steve has more than 1 Pokemon here, so Steve is not going to get donked. And he has the trolley as well. So we are going to be in for a bit of a game here today. No donks happening here. We are going to see the winner happen fair and square here. Rebecca's going to open on that Great Ball, and she found the Squawkabilly. Very nice. Rebecca is going to kind of get to do her dance here. She is going to get to chug through quite a bit of her deck and get all set up here. Unfortunately, the Squawkabilly is a bit of a liability. It gets one-shotted by the Blaziken, even gets one-shotted by the Greninja here, so that is a little tough. And having to Ultra Ball away the Lanazade early is a little tough, but she was going to discard it anyway because of the Squawkabilly, so... We see that off this Ultra Ball, she's going to grab that Flamigo, Gonna use that Insta-Flock to grab 3 more Flamigos out of the deck here. And then gonna be really nice just to toss them in the trash off of this Squawkabilly here. So really great setup for Rebecca. She's getting plenty of Pokemon in the discard pile. She's going to get to take a knockout here on her second turn, provided that, she found the energy. So next turn, Rebecca will be taking a knockout. And wow, just going to Carmine. Not even going to Squawkabilly yet. Going to draw another 5. And then probably going to Squawkabilly this hand away. Unless this hand is just cracked, which it is not. The boss is nice. Getting rid of the boss feels a little bad, but otherwise, it's like, just toss it all away. Let's get 2 more United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. We're up to 6, and let's just get a clean hand of 6 as well. Like, this is just and Ultra Ball, Zoroark. She gets to double Zoroark next turn. That's really nice. So Rebecca is set up. She is ready to start rocking and rolling here. So let's see if Steve is going to be able to do the same here. He gets to Trolley. He's going to get Froakie, Dreepy, Torchic. Going to grab the other Froakie and probably going to grab the other Dreepy, I would imagine. No, looks like the other Dreepy it's either in the hand or it's prized here. So let's see if he decides to grab a 5th Pokemon. I don't think he has much of an option here. He could grab something like that Torchic, and it's looking like that's what he's going to go for. No, the Dreepy is in the hand here, so he's probably not going to grab the Torchic. Probably just going to say these 4 are fine, and then I'm going to bench that Dreepy as my last Pokemon here. Good news for Rebecca. He does not have TM Evolution here, but with such a strong start for he's just going to pass. Wow. That is going to be tough for him. This is the opening Rebecca needs if she wants to walk with this game here. She's got the Zoroark up, and she gets to Ultra Ball for the second Zoroark here, so very nice for her. Can even do something like Ultra Ball away, or no, she's got Research here, so that rocks as well. So she could grab the other Zoroark. She could also choose to maybe grab a United Wings Pokemon and then go Ultra Ball, get rid of it to then find the Zoroark here. But it'll be interesting to see what she does here. This is kind of the hard part of this United Wings deck is, what does your sequencing look like here? Does Rebecca just slam down the Research and draw 7, then start trading? Or does she trade now and then try to use those Ultra Balls to get more United Wings Pokemon in her hand? And you're just going to see 2, and those were 2 great draws, the Dartrix plus another Research here, so makes sense. Yeah, going to trade away that Dartrix. Now she's got 7, gets to draw 2 more cards, and it's another United Wings Pokemon, and it is the Brilliant Blender. Very, very nice here. So Rebecca is going to essentially be done digging through her deck for the rest of the game now. Now she just kind of needs to find those couple of cards she needs, and that's it. Yeah, going to bench the other Murkrow. Brilliant Blender. Let's see what she dumps here. I imagine it's going to be all those other Pokemon she doesn't need, the Wattrels, the Dartrixes, and although she's got plenty in the discard pile already, so yeah, it's looking like Rebecca's going to dump some of these other cards she doesn't want. Something like the Squawkabilly. Could even dump like the Rowlet. Yeah, she goes, I don't need these cards in my deck. I don't want to draw them. I want my deck lean and mean, so the rest of the game, I'm drawing good stuff, and I'm knocking you out every single turn here, so let's see. Rebecca is now probably up to what? 10? She's up to 10 Pokemon. We're going to take a count. 8, 9, 10. Yep, big 10 Pokemon in the discard pile here. So she's hitting for a whopping 200 damage on this United Wing. So very nice. Not quite enough to knock out those big stage 2 EXs, but she's going to be getting very close. And if she can find that Gravity Mountain, she'll be feeling pretty good as well. Notably, Steve only plays 1 stadium in the Artisan. So if Rebecca slams down this Gravity Mountain, it'll probably stay in play for the rest of the game, most likely. And instead, we're just going to see a big United Wings for knockout, taking out that Torchic here. Steve has access to an Ultra Ball here. He also has Nest Ball, so he could go the route of going Nest Ball for... Oh, and there's the big Arven. That is excellent for him. That changes everything. He could try to take another turn off. He does have some time here. He could go for TM Evolution off of this Arven and just set up some more Pokemon, or he could Nest Ball for Fezandipity EX and then use Fez to draw 3 and then see what he draws before he makes a decision on this Arven. But it's looking like he's also thinking about starting off with the Ultra Ball, but no, going to go Nest Ball instead. Be interesting to see what he grabs here. He's going to grab the Fez. We're going to flip the script, and unfortunately, though, that does give Rebecca an easy 2-prize knockout. She's hitting for 100 damage, or for 200 damage as it is. If she can get 1 more United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile, She is just going to be able to boss KO this Fez and then pull herself way ahead in the prizes here. Steve's going to then follow up with an Earthen Vessel. Going to grab 2 more energy cards here. And he can currently go big Arven for rare candy, get the, I think he already has the, is that the Blaziken? He does have the Blaziken, so, and he drew into the rare candy, so Steve could very easily go rare candy Combuskin, rare candy Blaziken here, or, rare candy Greninja is even better here, so that is going to allow Steve to go rare candy into the Greninja. He can attach for turn, and then he can use the boss's orders that is in his hand to pull up the Squawkabilly EX, and then he can use that Shinobi Blade, knock out the Squawkabilly, and search his deck for 2 more, search his deck for a card. Actually, that is not true, because the Squawkabilly is resistant to fighting here. Let's see if Steve realizes that, because if he accidentally decides to try to Shinobi Blade that Squawkabilly, he's going to be very, very sad if that happens, because it will not be getting knocked out. So, but I did see that he went Arven. He's got the Evo, and I think Steve is going to instead be playing it a little safe here. He goes, I'm just going to, take a turn. It's fine. Yeah, rare candy Blaziken here, and then attach for turn onto the Froakie. And then he's just going to evolve into the Dracloak as well as the Frodinger here. So instead of choosing speed, Steve is choosing consistency. He's getting all of his stage 1 Pokemon in play here. And now Rebecca is going to be in a bit, she's not in a spot, but, she sees it coming. She sees he's going to set up that Greninja next turn. He's going to try to take big knockouts. I got to try to find the boss here. She has at least a couple still in her deck, so she should be able, if she can boss up the Squawkabilly, knock it out, the Fez, that's going to be really good for her. She could even choose to go boss up the Frodinger and knock it out, put Steve just a little bit behind, force him to use another rare candy to then get his Pokemon set up here. So let's see where these trades take us first. Big trade, 1, 2. I don't think we saw the boss in hand yet. We see Carmine and the Inn's Castle. Going to see second trade. Will we find the boss? I do not think so. We found the Gravity Mountain, though. Gravity Mountain's pretty cool. And unfortunately, unable to even find another United Wings Pokemon to put in the discard pile. So knocking out this Froakie is just going to have to be good enough here. Even if we found the boss for the Fez, we wouldn't have been able... Oh, no, we would have been able to knock it out. There was a Watch Roll hiding in the regular discard as well. So that would have been good enough. And we're just going to see... let's see... We're going to see Steve pushing up the Blaziken, it looks like. He's thinking about it. He doesn't quite know what he wants to push up. He's going to choose the Blaziken here, and he's going to draw for turn. Probably going to just immediately flip the script and draw 3. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, there's the Greninja. And then, big accelerate onto the Blaziken, attach for turn, and then boss up that Squawkabilly. Yeah, get to take a big knockout there, and you already have the Greninja in play. Things are not looking good here. So Steve gets to recoup all of this time he spent setting up immediately, bossing the Squawk, knocking it out, ties up the set with them both at 4 prizes, which then means that he is then a couple attacks away from winning the game, while Rebecca has quite a few more that she needs to do here. Yeah, going to go Ultra Ball, probably going to grab another Torchic, trying to set up double Blaziken. Makes a lot of sense here, allows the attack of that Greninja to be used a lot more efficiently if you got double Blaziken. And then, big boss KO here. Big Smolder Salt for knockout here. Rebecca's just going to push up that Murkrow, and she's already down to 3 cards in her deck. This is tough. She wants to trade to find her boss's order so she can knock out that Fez, but unfortunately, if she does that, she's going to deck herself and lose the game here. So, 4 cards in deck here. Big Gravity Mountain, which is nice. Going to reduce that Blaziken down to 290 HP here, which is pretty good, but Rebecca does not have 15 in the discard pile. She only has 11 right now. So doesn't look like she's going to be able to one-shot this Blaziken, which is really rough here. If she's attacking 4 times to end the game here, 2-shotting the Blaziken, 2-shotting the Greninja, Steve is just going to win with Greninja here. And just going to do a big attack. Going to put, 240 on the Blaziken. And and Steve's going to draw. And I think he's just going to go into that Greninja and then take a big 2 prize cards here. which is going to be a little tough. Good news, though, puts 2 more United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile for Rebecca. So then she can try to maybe get a one-shot on that Greninja. It's very possible. Steve really is just trying to find the Artisan. If he can find Artisan to bump the Gravity Mountain, I think he's going to be so far ahead, Rebecca will not be able to catch up here. So let's see if that happens. But instead, just going to see a big retreat, Blaziken accelerating 2 energy onto the Greninja, that 3rd attach for turn. Big Ultra Ball here. Gonna grab a Pokemon out of the deck, and I don't think there's any left. So looking like Steve just gonna shuffle up here. And, or no, he's got 1 more Blaziken left. And then it's looking like he's going to play Big Arven. Let's see what he grabs. Going to grab that TM Evo out of the deck and going to grab the Night Stretcher. Going to be nice recovery there. Although he doesn't really have much else he's looking for here, if I'm being honest. It's like he's kind of got everything he needs. He just needs to like not have his Pokemon get knocked out. And I think Artisan might actually be in the prize cards here, judging by the deck here. And then, yep. Big knockout on double Murkrow. And this is also unfortunate because it takes all of Rebecca's energy out of play too. She currently is not going to be able to take a knockout here actually because, you know, well, no, she has the Inn's Castle in hand. We do know that. And so she can bump her own Gravity Mountain for the Inn's Castle. She has 13 United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. I think she needs to get to 15 if she wants to take a knockout on this Greninja. And she is not going to be able to do that simply because the fact that this Flamigo is in play means that the most damage we can ever hit is 300. And then if we have 1 less than that, unfortunately, our thing goes down to 280, which actually 280 is close. It would have been close there to knock out this Greninja. But unfortunately, because we didn't have access to that escape board, we could not get the Flamigo out of the active spot here. So that's a little tough here. Could have pushed up Flamigo plus rescue board, then retreat into the Murkrow, leaving the stadium in play. But it's unfortunately not going to be good enough. Rebecca's going to draw the last, going to draw 2 more cards in her deck. She got 1 card left in deck, and if she can't find it, if she can't knock out this Greninja, the game is going to be over here, and I think it is. It is just going to be over. She doesn't have enough for knockout, and then Steve on his next turn just gets to go Blaziken, put 2 more energy on this Greninja, big Mirage Barrage for knockout, and then that is going to be the game. So very unfortunate, just couldn't find the combination of cards Rebecca needed to one-shot this Blaziken, or to one-shot the Greninja. If she could have one-shotted the Greninja, that would have felt pretty good. She would have been feeling like she could have won the game there, but unfortunately not. Instead, we're just going to see big Greninja taking out Flamigo and Murkrow. And Steve is going to be our inaugural off-meta tournament champion. But Steve was not the only winner. Steve gets presented with our trophy. He did it. He is the champion here. But we got some ribbons for creative deck building. And in 3rd place is going to be Maverick, piloting the Cody Hope special of Arven, getting 3rd place with the Arven's Mabosstiff EX deck, making use of Arven Professor's Turo, as well as the Arven Sandwich. Very flavorful deck there. Very cool. Our 2nd place list is going to be Will, who is playing this Blood Moon Ursaluna Iron Valiant EX deck. Unfortunately, we weren't able to feature this deck on coverage, but what a very, very sick build trying to put all this extra damage into play with the Iron Valiants. Very cool. And the winner for most creative off-meta deck is going to be Alan with his Kingdra EX deck, making use of that King's Order to put those stage 2 Pokemon into play. Very cool. So congratulations to Alan for winning the 1st place creativity ribbon, and big congratulations to Steve for taking down the whole tournament. But that is gonna do it for our inaugural tournament. Let me know what you think about this. Is this something you would like to see more of in the future, or was this just a little too cute and you're not super interested in it? Let me know in a comment down below. But don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for our back to our regularly scheduled GLC and standard content. And with that, my name is Cody Hope, and I'm signing out.